So if you're seeing this first frame, you've probably already know what I'm going to talk about. But just in case you've been living in a blockbuster and you're not up to date with the current YouTube drama, this is Logan Paul. He's been accused of running an NFT scam in the world of crypto, causing thousands of people to lose millions of dollars. The person who accused him is CoffeeZilla, who's considered the internet detective. And albeit he's been a pretty good detective, he's helped reveal lots of scammers, draw them to the light, even caused a few people to get rightly and justly arrested. Now, CoffeeZilla made a 3-part documentary about Logan Paul and about his NFT project called Crypto Zoo. And Logan Paul has just 2 days ago put out this response video. And I would like to just quickly react to it. So I think there's a lot of things here that Logan Paul did wrong. And I want to compare that with what I would do if I was making my own crypto project, creating my own tokens, and how I would make sure that this would never happen to me. Because I have actually the full intention of eventually doing my own crypto project and creating my own NFTs and pairing those with Nobel Trading. And I want to kind of cover how I would make sure that any of the buyers would never get burned, how I'd actually give value back to my community and what that actually looks like. So I think a lot of people are taking this moment and saying, see, this proves all of crypto is a scam and only scammers and assholes like crypto. And I just don't think that's the case. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
CoffeeZilla. I watched her 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam. And like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While your work used to...
This is already the big mistake, right? This is already, we're not even 10 seconds in the video. He's already screwing up. The only way you should address causing other people to lose money is with an apology, not diverting blame instantaneously. There should have been an apology. I'm sorry people lost money. I'm sorry some things the project went wrong. He's about to probably go over some of the things that went wrong. I'm assuming that he's going to try to blame other people, but this was his project. It was his responsibility to make sure the project went well. He should be immediately taking ownership of that and then leading with apology. And then maybe afterwards saying, these are the things that went wrong. These are the things that felt like were out of my control. But overall, this is still my fault. We're not even 10 seconds in. And he's already showing how much of a child he is and how immature he is to really even start a project like this.
To be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions. Coffee, you took a shot at my reputation. So in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with...
Let's also be clear, this is the guy who played with dead bodies in the forest in Japan, the suicide forest. No one's taken a bigger shot at his reputation than him.
Facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel. You see, CoffeeZilla tried to work with law enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative. He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance.
So defamation is wrong. Going after someone's character is wrong. And let me show you how wrong it is by immediately doing the same thing and ignoring all the things that this guy's done to actually help communities and help expose fraud. Yeah. My word. We're not even a minute in.
But as opposed to just telling you, I'm going to show you some of the core discrepancies that I caught in CoffeeZilla's investigation. Coffee, you interviewed the developer who stole the game code, fled to Switzerland, and held it hostage for $1 million. Well, his name is Zach Kelling. Surely, as the internet detective that you proclaim to be, you would know that he spent time in prison for multiple felonies, one for aggravated robbery, armed robbery at a liquor store, and the other for, surprise, obstructing the legal process. I can see why you kept him anonymous.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Is he trying to say that CoffeeZilla's an idiot for not catching this guy's background or figuring out who he is? How are you not the idiot for hiring him to work on your NFT project? Why would you even bring this up? You're a bad detective because obviously I'm not evil. I'm just a moron.
We'll be calling Z here.
I guess among many things, it doesn't surprise me that he lied about having 30 engineers and a $50,000 a week burn rate.
On my end, I have 30 engineers. I'm burning $50,000 a week.
Which, side note, is how this delusionist landed on the $1 million code ransom, but it turns out he only had 3 engineers. Wouldn't someone with journalistic integrity know their credible source had not only an agenda, but a fondness for orange jumpsuits? Or did you just hear what you wanted to hear and moved on? Because even if you're lying to yourself, Steven, you still have to believe it. And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual like Zach Kelling? I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and now me. And surely you knew Emilio, the gentleman who's supposed.
Yeah, see, I don't like this either, because if you're going to take the time to dive into a project like this, especially with someone like you who has tons of contacts, you should have been looking for someone to teach you about this so that you actually understood it, so that you could reach out to a coder, so that you would at least have some knowledge in doing it. This is what every business person does. They surround themselves with a few experts. Dude, you have loads of money. There is literally no excuse to not have like an A team to get this done, or else you shouldn't have done it at all, especially when the stakes here are that people lose millions of dollars, which is exactly what happened. I don't think you took this as seriously as you should have at any point, and none of that is CoffeeZilla's fault.
Supposedly let his child invest in a cryptocurrency, was allegedly responsible for 2 rug pulls before you interviewed him. So either you missed that or you knew it and failed to let the public know. Why? Because it was a clear sign that he was also untrustworthy. You seemed pretty excited when the guy told you that he couldn't hatch the eggs.
Wait, you can't even hatch?
No, I'm telling you, it's just a picture.
You're kidding! You can't hatch?
You're kidding. You can't hatch?
You can't hatch?
Yeah, 1 second of research would prove that to be false, as you can definitely hatch eggs and even breed your animals.
Click on that. Oh, we got a duck.
And as you pointed out in your fine print,
Now, some of you might be confused, but the whole point of the game was that you get these animals. There's like Pokemon, right? Except you could breed the Pokemon, these 2 animals, to make like a weird hybrid animal. And this would be an NFT that would then have some value based on its rarity, or I guess based off how much people like it. It was all supposed to be part of this like new trading game that then would generate money for people who bought into it based off that. Also, criticizing one of the guys who just bought into your project, by the way, because I watched the CoffeeZilla documentary, and Logan's just selecting one guy in particular when CoffeeZilla talked to, I think there was at least like a dozen people featured in the video. This is some selective hearing going on here. I imagine he's probably going to do this for the rest of the video and not address all the points made in the documentary. We're now almost halfway through the video with no real apology as well.
cross-hatching was
Or no ownership.
available on ETH at one point, but you perpetuated the opposite as truth with your chest out.
Basically, nothing worked.
And by the way, Guy, almost all NFTs are just pictures.
I'm telling you, it's just a
That doesn't justify anything. Well, tons of people have scammed people before, therefore it's okay that I do it. It's stupid.
picture.
It's so immature.
And surely a real internet detective would not break criminal and civil laws in trying to get information, right? So why have you allowed the illegal recording of Jeff's phone call without his permission? And then more like an internet criminal, post it online.
And it was interesting. It was like,
That's a state law. That's not a federal law. So I don't actually know what state CoffeeZilla lives in, but that's actually completely legal in some states. Now, I should probably have a lawyer actually talk about that. But if my memory is good, sometimes it isn't, that is actually not breaking the law. And yeah, getting threatening, by the way, still trying to divert away from yourself and your huge mistake. Take no ownership. And by the way, the whole reason CoffeeZilla did this was because Logan wouldn't talk to him. And CoffeeZilla showed the timestamps multiple times that he's tried to reach out to him over like a 2-year period. And you never apologized to your community or even talked about any of this. So it takes someone doing a 3-part documentary for him to even mention any of this. And this is how he reacts. Like this is a great example of what you do not do. Even though some of these might be somewhat valid, like this is still like, okay, you got fooled. That sucks, and all this sucks. You still need to take ownership of all of that. It's ridiculous.
this is wild.
Now, although you didn't verify any backgrounds, substantiate any evidence, took multiple criminals' words as truth, and broke laws.
So The issue here is that CoffeeZilla actually had some texts that were showing that looked like, very convincingly looked like Logan Paul had from the start of the project looked to just make a ton of money and rug pull people and look for great times to sell out of the project to make money. Now he never did, but that's because the project never really got legs in all likelihood.
You still publish the defamation. However, unlike you, the blockchain doesn't lie. So let's highlight some things that you did point out. Crypto King Jake stole $6 million. True or not, we had already removed him from the team when we realized he was a bad actor and his motives were purely financial. Conman Eddie, lead developer, stole $1.7 million. True or not, when we learned he was a bad actor as well, he was immediately removed from the team. While myself and Jeff sold nothing and made nothing as verified through investigation and the blockchain.
Jeff, Logan's manager, to my knowledge, never sold. Neither did Logan Paul.
I repeat, Jeff and I made no money and will never make any money on CryptoZoo. In fact, we only lost money trying to pick up the pieces.
Oh, always you. Yeah, are you gonna get sympathy, dude? Are you gonna get? You have millions of followers. You have such a privileged life. You're so lucky, and you should be so grateful that you were lucky that you were even able to get into this project. That you even had the trust of all these people, and here you are, squandering all of it, playing victim. It's so pathetic.
As has been the case with dozens of crypto and NFT projects, the space is unfortunately ripe for bad actors to infiltrate projects that start with even the best intentions. Jake the Snake is no longer affiliated with CryptoZoo, and we hope the money he reappropriated was worth ruining his reputation. Conman Eddie is being investigated by a higher authority that I cannot speak on. As you can imagine, I was not cleared from legal to discuss much of this, including the legal process being undertaken and the criminal investigations going on during the fallout, but I do.
And so that's why I haven't spoken, but you're okay to talk now. Now that someone's made a huge documentary about it, suddenly you're okay to talk about it. There's nothing about that legal process that would stop you from making an apology video, at least addressing the issue in some way, shape, or form, at least talking in your Discord to the members of your community. At all. It's not a cop-out. It's not an excuse.
I do appreciate you calling out that rats under my nose stole the game code, millions of dollars, and left Jeff and I abandoned with no team and knives in our back. But even after 12 months of work, you've still managed to overlook one crucial piece of information. See, even though I've said it's coming so many times, you've assumed that CryptoZoo isn't being made. Who are you to decide when the development timeline ends? I got everything stolen.
Who are you to not communicate that on a major project? With millions and millions of dollars at stake, people deep in losses, wanting to know about it. Who are you to not communicate to them that you were going to continue the project after 12 months? Again, what? Like, you are making yourself look like even more of a moron.
Stolen from me and our...
And keep in mind, he's got a full team of people. You need better people around you, man. You got to have better people around you because this is just embarrassing.
Community, stopped promoting publicly as soon as I knew the extent of the internal issues, took all of the heat on social, and you still published a defamatory hit piece fully knowing I was innocent just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio. Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. And maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally. Not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly. The subject line was third request for comment. Yeah, not quite. This will be my third time reaching out to you and your team. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. Okay, so the last time on Christmas Eve after the fact was to me. You have a funny way of twisting things. And I also noticed...
So CoffeeZilla has actually provided timestamps of previous times that he's reached out to Logan Paul. This is actually not true, but to be honest, it's not. You can see why a guy that likely gets tons of emails, lots of it spam. I could imagine why Logan didn't see it.
You left out that part on Twitter. Why hide that? Trust me, CryptoZoo is coming. I will make damn sure of it. And honestly, it sucks that after years of personal reform, going through trials and tribulations and busting my ass to evolve into a person that I can say I'm actually proud of, you led the charge to drive and monetize a narrative telling millions of people that I'm a fraud or I tried to scam my audience. That is patently false. This video is mainly for my fans and anyone who's on the fence that I hope I can help understand a situation that is tremendously complex but has been oversimplified for both views and clicks. And lastly, CoffeeZilla. I now know your motives with this. Clout and money, good for you, but also you're slimiest.
It seems like your motives for doing what you're doing is clout and money as well. So, I mean, what? Kettle, pot, this is what this looks like. It's disappointing from both ends, to be honest, because it seems like, and to be fair, I think CoffeeZilla gave him some of the due in the documentary. Hey, he didn't make money and didn't scam people, but he also didn't commit to finishing this game. Seems like no one was paid, although the developer turns out was a scam artist, but you were still in charge of the project. You still need to take ownership of that.
So I'm not going to come on any of your podcasts. If you want to come on Impulsive and talk about this, that's fine. You've denied my invitation multiple times. You're still invited. It can be a one-on-one. If not, we're going to handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
I don't know if he has an actual court case or not, but here is how I would do my crypto project if I was to do one. Now, first things first, I've actually already put a lot of thought into this. I was wanting to make some NFTs and some tokens that related to Nobel trading. These NFTs would give people access to the Discord, and it would be as a way for them to support the community. These would be considered membership passes, likely would have different tiers. One of those being like a founder tier, where you actually collect part of the revenue that I get from the subscriptions in the Discord. They're actually directly related to the business. For the tier below that, I would actually directly connect those to the AdSense that I create off my video content, which is why I'm also waiting to do this, because I'm waiting for this to actually make money. So when that starts to roll in, I would relate that. Any sponsorships or anything like that, I would make sure that that money not only goes to me, but goes to the community, so the community stays invested in what I'm doing as well. So if I win, we all win. That's would be the main goal, right? That's one of the beautiful things about NFTs. Like if you're an artist, you can make sure that your audience collects part of the streams from the music they buy from you. It's a beautiful thing. That's the appropriate way to use NFTs when it comes to a community. Now, Logan wanted to create a game. I wouldn't do anything gamey because games are trendy. They fall out. You have to constantly update them. It didn't seem like his game was well made at all. It seemed like he tried to scrape this project together. He wasn't even overseeing the team. I would have direct contact with those in my team. I would know who each person is. I would know about their background as well, and I would talk to them. It's pretty easy to talk to someone about something that's technical and get a quick understanding of whether or not they know what they're talking about. And so, when you have that one-on-one connection with someone and you get to know them and you start talking about the technicals and the nitty-gritty and then going to meet their team, I would definitely be meeting these people in person as well. And I would need to get a team in all likelihood. This is going to be some more complex coding that I'm likely not going to be aware of. I'm probably going to want someone who's well acquainted with the crypto universe. I probably wouldn't need much help for marketing or anything like that, but all the technical stuff, I would definitely build a team and make sure that I have direct contact with all of them. Because if I'm not going to do that, then why am I even doing this project at all if I don't understand anything about it whatsoever? So, and unless I'm giving someone literally a 6-digit salary to handle this and know them personally and constantly getting full-blown reports on who's who, and even then I would still want to meet most of the people involved at least on a regular basis to check in on the project. Seems like Logan is just like, I pushed this off onto someone else and they screwed it all up even though I sold all of it. That doesn't push off the blame. You need to have direct involvement. But that's what I would do. And that's not a super complex thing either. But to make sure that anything I do, any successes I have, benefit the community. If I succeed, the community wins. And I think that as NVT grows, people will want to have those membership tokens to get the membership into the Discord. And that will also cause an appreciation in the value in those tokens as well. And then to make sure that they're constantly getting feedback, that there's constantly money being poured into those, I would make sure that my own success is shared with them, so that the money that the company makes helps them make money as well. Now, they'll only receive a fraction of the subscription, but it will be essentially passive income, actual passive income, not passive income that means you have to do maintenance on a house every once in a while, but real passive income just from being a supporter of me. And I think it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be some sort of groundbreaking game, which I don't think Logan had created, just like I don't think he created a groundbreaking drink. This isn't about his drink, but hey, if you're a big Prime fan, there's really nothing special about that at all whatsoever. And I have wanted to create my own supplements as well. I studied and majored in biochemistry and biotechnology. So I know it's just the due diligence you need to really have conviction in what you're building, like the groundwork I laid down for the things I take on as a challenge and want to build and grow, like this community. Like, I'm doing everything right. I'm not trying to clickbait too hard, not trying to be flashy with money or cars or anything like that, trying to make sure that the value I give is actual real value. And I would do the same thing for a crypto project as well. And if something went wrong, I'd be right here on this screen saying, hey, this person messed that up and this person messed this up and maybe the whole thing fell apart, but this is all my fault and I am so sorry and I'm going to do everything I can to make it right. And that is how you handle it.